Today I'm going to show you how to create a layered look using nesting dies. Hi there, it's Therese from Lostinpaper, and before I get on to today's technique, I just want to share this beautiful new set from Altenew. It's a stamp set called Beauty Within, and you can also get this simple colouring stencil, which is a fairly new product to Altenew, and basically it means you can use the stencils to add colour to these open flowers and leaves really quickly and easily in whatever colours you want. Alright, so what we're going to do today is create a layered card, and I'm starting by creating a base scene. I've chosen a couple of flowers and a leaf and laid them out on some copy paper just to get a rough idea of how I want this to look. I have 3 pieces of cardstock here. They're all cut the same size as the front of my card, and what I'm doing now is stamping them, all 3 of them, with my obsidian black ink using my MISTI. That way I know that each time I stamp, these images are going to be in exactly the same spot. Now I want to use this simple colouring stencil to add my colours to my flowers and leaves, and I've got the Altenew ink blending tool here, and the set of blues that I'm using today for these flowers is the Tranquility set, which is a really stunning sort of grey blue with a greeny tinge set of inks. They are really pretty, and I'm using the lightest colour, which is called Misty Morning First, and these stencils are really easy to use because you can just lay them directly over top of the image and it's easy to work out where you want to add colour. The only thing to be aware of is that some of the pieces of these stencils are quite fine, or they're very intricate, so what I tend to do then is actually brush the colour over with the way of the plastic. Does that make sense? Not really. I don't go against the plastic because I don't want it to lift up and bend the little pieces of plastic. My second flower here, I've done the base colour of Cloudy Sky, and then on my second layer, these flowers actually have 3 layers, but I'm only doing 2 of the layers here, but you can do as many or as little as you want, and I basically just set them aside and did all 3 panels exactly the same, as well as an extra flower. This blending tool is awesome. Do be aware though that it's a fairly wide tool, so I have used some copy paper and also some post-it note edgy paper to mask off the sections I didn't want to accidentally add ink to. How pretty is that? These colours are so pretty together. Now the greens that I used here are from the original, what I like to call the original Altenew greens, so the frayed leaf and then the forest glades. And I did do the 2 layers on the big leaves, but in the centre of the flowers I actually just came in with the frayed leaf, which I thought looked absolutely beautiful. And then I decided to add the centre of the flowers with some obsidian ink. And I used my MISTI because they're all, all the panels were stamped the same, and I didn't like it. I wished I had have just left them as the pale green or done like one of the darker blues. But anyway, I'm going with it now. I'm going to see how I go. So I've got 3 panels that are exactly the same. I have the new Nesting Ovals die set from Altenew, and I've chosen 3 of the ovals. They're not all, I think there's about 6 or 7 altogether. And I'm working out here where I want which panels. So this piece of cardstock here, they're all the same, all 3 panels are the same, but I want to create 4 layers. And to do that is I'm going to sneak the piece out of the middle of the base. And so this is going to be my base cardstock, and I'm going to run the smallest oval die through my die cutting machine, and no one's ever going to know that that piece was missing. And now I want to work out exactly where to line up the next die. So I've got my small piece, I've sat it in the middle and lined it up over the flowers, and then I can just simply tape the die in place and run that one through my die cutting machine, and I'll do exactly the same thing for the following die. So today's card, like I was saying, is part of a release from Altenew, and I have another card, it's very different to this one, to share at my blog, so don't forget to head there, and that will also have all the links to the products or the people along the hop and lots more information, and the link to get to my blog will be in the description below. So now to work out where to put my sentiment, I'm just using my Misty tool again, and just use the negative space of the cardstock to hold the oval in place while I line up the sentiment, which is from the Painted Greetings set. And I'm just going to stamp that on one of the ovals before I pop it up on the top of the card. Much easier to do it now. And this is the look we're going for. All 3 layers, 4 layers, plus an added flower. To adhere my layers together, I've used the glue tape on the bottom layer and just added that to a side fold landscape card. Each of the ovals, what I've done here is just pop them up on some fun foam as well as the flower. Now this is very similar to an old technique which was called triple time stamping, which basically meant that you stamped over multiple layers and then just added matting in between, because the stamping obviously didn't work very well over multiple layers at a time. But now that we have the Misty tool, we can actually perfect this, and we don't have to worry about the stamping because we can actually multiple stamp on different layers and get the same look without the stress. So if you did like today's video, it'd be great if you could click on the thumbs up button to let me know that you did, and if you haven't already, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel. I appreciate every visit you make here. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.